you know, the second half, I felt like we got going, and we had our moments, and then we give up 2 back-to-back threes, and it just seemed like, to me, it just seemed like the game was, for whatever reason, it was going the other way. We got to figure out a way to sustain, our energy, our effort, and our play, because right now it's too roller coaster. And as we're going through, not only, tonight's game, and, as we'll come back, we'll practice, we'll play Virginia Tech on Saturday. Man, we got to just, we got to figure it out, like, in terms of what we want out of this. And, I'm all right with it. I'm not all right with losing at all, but I'm going to get better. I'm going to continue to teach. I'm going to continue to fight for everything that I need to fight for in terms of trying to protect the program and do the right thing and always seeing big picture. But, why does it have to be big picture when, if you just execute the game plan, it can be today. And so that for me is, where I sit, and, it's disappointing, again. But, I mean, this is about the 4th or 5th time I've come up here, and it's the same thing. And so at some point, got to get tired of it.
Unusual night for Miles. It was his first scoreless game since his freshman year, and only 17 minutes. What was going on with him, where he wasn't? I know he had some foul trouble, but just kind of what was going on with him.
He just never found a rhythm, and I went in another direction. I just needed some energy. Sometimes, the game don't. You gotta know how to get the game back, and tonight wasn't his night, and we could have used him, but man, look, I think as a player, and I'll say this about Miles because it's not about the day. See, I'm not, again, it's not about today, and it's not about losing by 8 points, and it's not about him getting 0 points. My thing is you got to get lost in everything about basketball. Do you love it? Because there's more to basketball than scoring. You can play defense, you can take a charge, you can get assists. You got to figure it out. And at times, and it's not just Miles, it's everybody on our team, they got to understand that. And, I know for me, the strengths and the weaknesses of this team, because I'm with them every day. And my thing is that when we're really good, you guys see it. It's effort, it's energy. We're getting stops, we're running, the ball is sharing. Like, we don't have a one-on-one team like that. And I'm all right with that. Eventually we'll get to that, but today that's not who our team is. And so I think, like, you got to get lost in everything else. And, Miles needs to do that more. He'll bounce back. I mean, it happens. But, hopefully he understands these things, and, he has to figure it out. Each and every game, I said this the other day, each and every game is a different game. Like, man, people got scouting reports, so they was in them. They were doing different things, and, he just couldn't find a rhythm.
Coach Capel said he thought his team won the game in the second half with their toughness. What did you see out there?
What I'll say is that I gotta do better than that, because it's as a coach. Listen, I think Jeff is a great coach, and it's not about Jeff. So Jeff coaches his team, I coach mine, so it's not a war of words. So this is not what I'm saying. But if he said that, I got to get a tougher team then. There it is.
Questions for Coach Kelly?
It seems like the defensive closeouts at the end of shot clocks have been what's been killing you guys so much. Giving up open looks. Diaz Graham kid hit 2 wide open shots. Like, guys over pursuing. Is it mental at that point, or is it physical? Like, is it just poor execution of the switches you guys are running, or what are you seeing in those situations where you guys are getting hit so hard on so many of those late shot clocks with open shots?
It's a mentality that you take when you can't look your brother in the eye and he gives you confidence. That's what it is. Period. You know, when you're playing this sport, when you're playing team sports, when you work in a company, whatever that might be, there's always somebody there that you go bounce things off of. That's human nature. That's everybody. I don't care where you work at. That's what you do, right? I want to know, do our guys talk to each other about anything? And so what happens is we talk about connectivity and we talk about being together, but when you really put your hand in the huddle, is it like this or is it like this? Right? And so that's what you see. I got one better for you. How about we had a good defensive possession? The ball was going out of bounds. Nobody on our team went for it. Henson saved it. He saved it to Leggett. Leggett came back and scored. See, trust me, I play point guard. I don't forget nothing. So for me, it's a culmination of everything. See, I know you guys got a story to do, so you got to think about the game. But for me, man, this is like Groundhog's Day. This has been going on. And so what has to happen is you got to change your mentality. And if you don't change your mentality, then I'm going to have to go do what I got to do then. And so I bleed into these guys every single day. That's what I do. I come here, you know, sometimes I overreact. I got to overreact to get guys going because within our collective group, we don't have that. So there's only so many places you can go when you don't have leadership, on-floor leadership. You can point, you can do all these different things. It doesn't matter. There has to be a connectivity. You got to be pulling in the same direction to be successful. And that's what we're trying to get to. And, you know, it's a mentality that you have to take on. And again, I just told those guys because we talked about the same thing that I'm talking about. You know, come Thursday when we come back, we all got to figure it out together, but we all got to look in the mirror too. We can't be exempt. See, this is what I learned. When you're in a lot of situations, you have people that do just enough so they don't fail, so they can blame somebody. But see, if you're all the way in, you fall flat on your face so you know how far you can go. And then you know exactly who you are. And that's why it's levels to it. That's why guys, you know, are in high school, they play. And then guys go to college, and then some guys in high school fall off. Then that's when, you know, you go to college, you got D1, D2, D3, and then guys fall off. And then you get some guys that transfer up. You get some guys transfer down. You get some guys that transfer from D1 to like it's levels to it, right? And so we're trying to get there. And within this collective group, I haven't figured out who to lean on. Because right now when I'm looking guys in the eye, I don't collectively see it.
Do you want to wrap this up?
Moving forward with the, you know, building the program, recruiting, you know, there's a lot of talented players around the country. When you go out now, are you looking for that type of player that, you know, and looking maybe a little beyond, you know, whether they can sink a shot or, you know, play defense, that type of thing?
Well, I mean, that's important, obviously, but you look at everything. I look at everything. Just, and this is the thing about it. I always say this too, just so we understand, like, toughness don't have to do toughness doesn't have anything to do with how you grew up. One of the toughest kids I ever had was Miles Reynolds. His father's James Reynolds, one of the wealthiest black men in the country. And when he came and brought his son to me at Pacific, he told me he wanted me to give my son, I want you to give my son his confidence back, because he was stripped of his confidence. I don't give a damn about this basketball. I want him to become a man so he understand what this is and we leave. And so my whole thing is that when I get kids, like, if you're only looking at me as a basketball coach, then you're not gonna get out of it what you want anyway. Because I'm more than a basketball coach. I tell a story every day. Basketball just gave me a platform to tell a story. Because it's going to be peaks and valleys, and it's going to be up and down. What you put into it is what you get out of it. So from a basketball perspective, you look for good players. You look for players that are hungry. They want to succeed. High character guys. And ultimately, they have a competitive spirit. And they want to compete in every way. Because being here at Tech is more than just going to play basketball. You got to go to class. You got to do different things. But when you do those things, the ones that I've seen that have left here, they get everything out of it what they want. They come back and they're revered. People talk about them. You can do anything you want in the city. But we got to set a standard. I have a standard for when I'm not doing things the way I do, because I've set a standard for myself. My guys need to set individual standards. I don't know if they have a standard. I ask them that all the time. Do you have a standard for yourself? What's your standard? I have a standard for myself. The one thing I wanted to do when I went off to college, and my mother told me when I got older, she told me I hurt her feelings. I said, shit, Mama, you don't ever have to worry about me again financially again. I'm going to be all right. You did your job. Hopefully I can help you get in the position that you need to be in. That's what I told her. Because I didn't want to go back home. I didn't want that. I wanted better than that. I want guys that want better. I don't want guys that just want to come. I want guys that want to be here. They're going to fight. They're going to have pride. They're going to have GT on their chest, and they're going to have pride every time we go out there to fight. That's what I want. That's all I want. I just want dudes that's going to fight. Because it's hard when guys don't fight. Because you can't coach effort. Effort is turned into a skill. Man, when I played, effort wasn't no skill. Everybody played hard. Everybody played hard. Now we talk about effort as a skill. So, recruiting is recruiting, and I love it. And, roll my sleeves up, and staff will roll their sleeves up, and we, we'll get the players we need to get. But right now, I can't worry about that. We 9-10. We 2-6 in conference, man. We got to figure this out, because this was driving me crazy right now.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.